What is going on, guys? And today I'm going to be doing a first round NFL mock draft as of wildcard weekend. And first up, we got the Chicago Bears. Now, I am not going to have them trading down. Instead, they get the best player in the draft. They are going to take Will Anderson Jr., Alabama. He's an unbelievable athlete, put up amazing production. He's the perfect edge prospect, pretty much, and he's going to be going first overall. Second, Texans need a quarterback. Bryce Young's the easy choice. Not going to overthink these picks. The Cardinals are not in a situation where they need to draft a quarterback, so they can take the second best player in the draft, Jalen Carter, who is a generational defensive tackle out of Georgia. The Colts, a lot of easy picks in the beginning here. They have a few different quarterbacks they could end up going with, but for me, it's going to have to end up being C.J. Stroud. He is just the most polished quarterback in this class, and he's going to be able to step in and be the starter instantly. So, C.J. Stroud is going to be my pick at number 4. Number 5, Seahawks. Again, a lot of these picks pretty simple. This one, a little more complicated. However, their edge rushers are pretty bad. And Myles Murphy, similar to Trayvon Walker in his athletic ability, and he will certainly be a great player. So we're going to take him here for the Seahawks. Detroit Lions, they have a lot of positions. They could go corner here. They could go with Christian Gonzalez. They could take quarterback, although I think they found their guy in Jared Goff, in my opinion. And they really have a lot of options and can go in a lot of different directions here. But for me, they got to go defense because their offense is so good, and it becomes between corner and defensive tackle. For me, the best player available is going to be Bryan Bresee, so I'm going to take him for the Lions. There are a lot of good corners in this class. They can get one with their 18th overall pick later. Next up, we got the Raiders. Derek Carr is leaving. They need a quarterback. Take maybe a bit of a hot take, but they take best quarterback in my opinion. Give me Anthony Richardson, 7th overall. Super athletic. He's Josh Allen 2.0 as a prospect. Insane legs. Justin Fields is a runner. Josh Allen arm. He's going to be amazing if he is able to properly develop. He is a project, but he's amazing. Falcons, they really need pass rush help. And they get one of the best players available, Tyree Wilson, out of Texas Tech. Super long arms, great player. Panthers really need a quarterback. This might be the easiest choice. The only elite quarterback left, Will Levis. Best player available, position of need. It just fits so well. Eagles on the clock. Now, right now, the Eagles only have 2 needs at safety and linebacker. However, it seems more and more likely that someone is going to pay big money for James Bradberry. And the Eagles, with this 10th pick, can get a very good corner to replace him. Slay is going to retire soon, so they need someone to step into Slay's spot as the number 1 CB. Give me Christian Gonzalez. Right now, there's a lot of debate over who the best corner is. I don't think there's going to be debate by the end of the year when it gets to draft time. Christian Gonzalez is my CB1, standing at 6'2", incredibly good, just amazing athlete overall. Tennessee Titans, they really need tackle. They lost some offensive linemen in the offseason, such as Roger Saffold. They've had injuries, and they need to help Derrick Henry. You really have 2 options. There are 2 very good tackles, Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson Jr. Peter Skoronski was slightly better in college. Paris Johnson Jr. has longer arms. I'm going to go with Peter Skoronski. I think he's the better tackle. Texans now, they need a quarterback. They need a weapon for Bryce Young. This is absolute lock. Give me Quentin Johnston. He is 6'4". He's super fast. He has great yak ability. He's receiver 1 in this class. He's going to pair super well with Bryce Young. Next up, we got the New York Jets, and they have had so many injuries at tackle. Give me the best player available, Paris Johnson Jr. I'm not going to think about it. It's the right pick right there. Next up, we got the Patriots, and they don't have too many crazy needs. However, their receivers are pretty lacking right now, especially with some of them about to hit free agency. And, they could use someone. They could use a receiver. Yeah, they could just use a receiver. And for me, it's going to have to be my wide receiver too, Jordan Addison, the best separator in the class. Very good production-wise, and he's gonna be great. Packers here, very difficult pick. However, I think they got Christian Watson, and this made me kind of go more toward tight end, possibly replace Robert Tonyan, go with Michael Mayer here. However, they have Christian Watson as their kind of receiver, going to be their outside guy. They don't have an inside slot receiver. Randall Cobb, too old, but Randall Cobb can be a nice mentor, possibly ease Jackson Smith and Jigba into the role. Jackson Smith is amazing. I have Jackson Smith, Jordan Addison, and Quentin Johnson all right next to each other, and, they go off the board very close because Jackson Smith, he had 1,600 yards last year. He was injured this year, but he is, you think of Amon-Ra, he's just a great football player, and he's going to be great with the Packers. Next up, Washington Commanders. They traded away William Jackson. They don't have a corner. They need a corner. Why not take another amazing corner, another 6'2" press corner, Joey Porter Jr. Pretty easy pick. Steelers also in the market for a corner, and their offensive line was very good over the second half of this season, and it improved a lot as Najee Harris got healthy. Their offensive line also got healthy. Let's take another corner. They have they don't have any good corners, and this would really make this defense go from a great unit to an elite one. Kelee Ringo, he got kind of torched in the first half of the game against Ohio State, but he's super athletic, and he'll be great, developed in such a good system in Pittsburgh. Detroit Lions, remember how we ended up taking Brian Brzee 6th overall? Now they get the chance to get their biggest position of need, which is cornerback. Right now, Jeff Okudah is good, and he will end up being good, but Armani Oruwariye, who had 7 picks last year, was not good this year. Let's take Cam Smith. He's also an elite corner. Devin Witherspoon, by the way, PFF really likes him, and he's good, and he'll probably go later this mock draft, but we're not taking him yet. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, oh my God, their offensive line is just horrible. Let's take the easily third best offensive lineman in this class, Broderick Jones. Very athletic tackle from Georgia, and he's going to be really good. He's going to be the pick here. Seattle Seahawks at pick number 20. This is a very tricky pick because the Seahawks, when you think about it, they have their quarterback, they have their receivers, they have their offensive line with Charles Cross, and Abraham Lucas stepping in. Then they have their safety, Jamal Adams. They have their corner, Tariq Woolen. We got them Miles Murphy, the edge, earlier, but they don't have any good linebackers. Possibly look to fill the void of Bobby Wagner. Let's take Trenton Simpson, linebacker out of Clemson. He's very fluid, very agile, great athlete. He's going to be perfect as just an instant starter in that defense. Chargers, their defense isn't looking great. However, they have one issue on their offense. They have zero speed. Their fastest receiver is like Josh Palmer. They don't have Brady is probably faster than all their receivers. So let's take the most shifty receiver, a huge riser recently. Give me Zay Flowers. This will make their offense a top 5, I'd say top 3 unit next year, taking a speedy receiver in the first round. Baltimore Ravens, another team, they desperately need a receiver. Rashad Bateman got hurt this year, and they had no one. Yes, they have Mark Andrews, but other than that, they don't. However, they can use Mark Andrews, Lamar, running quarterback. We're actually not going to take a receiver. Hopefully they can find someone in free agency. You know what they really need? They need youth at corner. Let's take the best corner available. He's dropped down PFF's board for some reason, but Clark Phillips III is still a first-round corner, and he's going to be extremely good. We're going to end up taking him here. This leaves the Minnesota Vikings, who also very much need a quarterback, to take the other corner in this kind of second tier. Give me Devin Witherspoon to the Minnesota Vikings. They really need corner. Pat Pete was decent this year. They had no one else. Andrew Booth was nowhere to be seen, and Pat Pete's not playing much longer. In fact, he might retire this year. Jacksonville Jaguars, now they're in an interesting position. They could seriously use offensive line. Their whole offensive line was horrible. One of the worst units in the league. Trevor Lawrence, very good pocket presence. That's why he didn't get sacked literally every play. Let's get the best interior offensive lineman in this class, the best lineman available. Give me Osiris Torrance out of Florida. Next up, we got the Giants, and they are in a position similar to the Ravens. They really need receiver. They really need corner. This is one of the most difficult picks. However, they could take a different kind of receiver. I was thinking about this for so long, so I'm going to cut this down. Let's take Michael Mayer. Slides down the board. This is what tight ends are going to do now. They're not valued as much. We've seen a lot of these high-drafted tight ends not work out. We're looking at TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant, who have been traded for less, much less. And Kyle Pitts recently, he has a ton of potential. I think he's going to be great, but he hasn't been good recently. So the Giants get their Evan Ingram replacement, and they get like a legit tight end that can play, and this should really help Daniel Jones. I absolutely love this pick. This leaves the Cowboys in an interesting position. They could possibly take corner or take safety. All I know is they really need to try to fill that second corner role because they don't have it. PFF loves Brian Branch. I love him too. They need safety help. Brian Branch can also play slot corner. They just need secondary help. So just take the best player available maybe on the whole draft board and the best player at a position of need. Cincinnati Bengals, they need offensive line very badly. Anton Harrison, best tackle available. We're going to take him. We're not going to think about it. Right now, they have 3 offensive line players injured in their matchup against the Bills. And they just need new guys that are going to be good. So let's take Anton Harrison there. Denver Broncos also really need tackles so desperately. Garrett Bowles is not very good. They don't have anyone else. They need to protect Russ. So we're going to end up taking DeJuan Jones. PFF hates him. He's really good. Trust me. There's, that Ohio State tackle duo, Paris Johnson Jr., DeJuan James, is absolutely lethal. So we're going to take him here. Bills, another very difficult pick because they don't have any, crazy positions of need. However, they could use a lineman, and there are a lot of options here. I like Cody Mock. I like John Michael Schmitz. I like Darnell Wright. But we're going to end up going John Michael Schmitz because I think he's probably the best player available, and they could really use interior offensive line, hopefully help with that run game. The Chiefs, I refuse to let Bijan Robinson drop out of the first round, and I think the Chiefs, they don't have any real needs. And you know what they do need, though? They need running back. Right now, they can use a room of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco. But, dude, if they had an elite running back, this offense would be even better than it already is. Give me Bijan. I'm not going to overcomplicate that. Eagles, I talked about how they needed safety, linebacker, and they needed corner. That's why we took Christian Gonzalez with the 10th pick. Well, they just happened to get lucky that one of the best safeties, a first-round safety, Antonio Johnson out of Texas A&M, fell to them, and they're going to take Antonio Johnson here, and that finishes up our mock draft. So we can look back here. Will Anderson ended up going first. We had Bryce Young. We had four quarterbacks go in the top 10 here. Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, and Bryce Young. Comment down below if you agree with the pick that I made for your team, and I want to hear what you might have done differently in this mock draft. And hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for more mock drafts, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.